Good morning, and good morning. Oh my goodness, it's a little chilly to me. Me and the cold do not agree, but I'm hoping that your weekend went well. What'd you do? What did you have fun doing? Were you able to get something in motion? Now I feel once Halloween is over, it's the rush season. The next 2 months goes by so quickly, and before we know it, we're into the new year. And it starts with the changing of the time after Halloween. That changing of the time just really has gotten me a little off. I am definitely a person who loves daylight savings time and not standard time, but I have no control. I have no control over what is done regarding our the time zone that we live in. But anyway, hoping you all are doing well this morning. I wanted to talk about the den. I know for me personally, my den is like my refuge. Sometimes it's my bedroom, like when I'm really cold and I want to be, in the bed with just, a book and watching television or something. And I don't really watch it, I have to be honest. I like my den is probably my favorite room in the house. I love my kitchen when I go in there, but without having, a large family or anything, I don't have to go in there. But I go in other people's kitchen because a lot of times that's where, conversations are held, and that's where, the good food is being prepared, or some folks are doing stuff. So I do like that location as well, but it's just no longer my favorite area in the house. When my child was little and our family we had going on, that was good. That was good. But she's older now. In fact, she made dinner for me over the weekend, so that was really good. I had fun eating her food. She made a beef. It was beef over rice and vegetables. It was really, really good. I said, okay. So she's learned along the way that she can feed her mom, and her mom doesn't mind eating it. So we had that over the weekend. But anyway, just looking at the fact that our den becomes, a comfortable place. In most houses, the den is probably, the area where most people will frequent, and it's generally right off the kitchen. So it's nearby where you can get something to eat. It's also nearby the bathroom where you can let stuff go. But it is definitely a location that people frequent. They make it their comfortable spot. It's usually like I have actually I have three recliners, because on the end of each of this piece of furniture I'm sitting on, my couch has recliners on both ends, and then my chair, I have a chair recliner and then a lounger. So I mean, for people who ever come here, you can sit down and relax. You can definitely relax. So this morning I found a poem that I liked, and I thought it was pretty cool. It speaks to the den, and it's by Labiba, uh, and it's Labanano, Labanabo. It's a different kind of name. I've never seen it. It's IBIN, so that would be Labin Nabo, Labinabo. So you have to spell it out. But anyway, that's who it's by, and it was written in looks like 2002. But I kind of liked it because it spoke to some of what goes on in our. Good morning, Debbie. How are you doing, my sweet friend? But and the day our word is den. How our dens are important to us through the I would say this the coming in and the going out. We probably have walked through the den or been near the den, because it's generally just the focal point, one of the focal points of the house. It's usually in a in the area of the house that's well suited for most visitors, as well as family hanging out there. But anyway, it's called The Den, this poem is, and it says, I was in the den for a night, wailing and trembling for a night, was in the den for a time, shedding tears and shaking, feeling sick and fretting for a while, was in the den for a while, thinking and figuring, ranting and praying for a time, came the darkness or of the night to forestall me, fill the air, cloud and whole place, then you gave light in a moon. So to me, this poem really talks about the den being a place where everything can happen. You can probably yell at a game on TV if you're a football player or a basketball player, or maybe even soccer, since that seemingly is growing in our country as well. But just looking at how life can change just by what it is that you do in your den. And some people, they may have it where people come over and they may play cards, near the den or in the den, or they may certainly eat. Most people will probably have it where they got the side tables and stuff where they can eat in their dens. And this is a time of year, I feel, that everybody that comes into just looking at the holidays, things things happen. You invite people in, you may sit in the den, you may go through the kitchen or to the kitchen to get something, and you come right back to sit down and enjoy talking and conversing with people while you're eating something. But for some people, that may be that they are, upset about something, and they may be crying, they may be even sick. I've known some people who had to use their den because their bedrooms are on another floor and they were ill, so they could no longer get up to their bedrooms. So the den is probably a place that's well frequented by the family and friends for a lot of different reasons. So anyway, when I break the word down this morning, and I want to ask you, how often do you use your den? Is your den now, I think that in recent, homes, it's called the great room, but it's still the den. It's still basically a, a, a selected room that people will go to. Good morning, Cheryl. How are you? So I ask you both. I know there's more people that've been in and out, but I ask you both: do you use your den or your great room more than you use other rooms in the house, like if you're watching television, or it might be even if you're reading or something? But what do you use that room? So the den, it says, is a secluded room. And I don't really feel that it's always secluded, but they claim it is. And it says sometimes it can be called a shelter, but an old English word meaning shelter for the wild animal. I think sometimes we can have wild animals, but I think in recent years, the den has been used as just like a focal point. It says, but the den came to refer to a room that's used primarily for relaxing, watching television, and socializing with friends, which is what I was getting to. But the old English portion talks about it being the shelter. And I guess in that respect, we could consider this to be shelter when we're talking to people that make us feel comfortable and warm and excited, or able to laugh or even cry at some of the things that we go through. But it's also talked about it being the air that we breathe, that we breathe in through that the livability that comes from the room. It said it could be a cove, it could be our lodging place. And how many of us think that would be a lodging, place? I sometimes do, because sometimes I can't wait to come from whatever I've been through outside to get inside my house, and I walk right into my den. And sometimes I sit down before I go into the kitchen or someplace else in the house, only because it's very comfortable. So it says that it may be my cavern, it may be my hideout. Is it your hideout? Do you hide out in your den? And it says it may be the retreat or captivity, meaning we feel captive in it, but comfortable. We don't feel uncomfortable. And it says for some people, hanging in their den may find it to be their hideaway. It's just like they close the door and this is the place. And I'm talking now, and I'm sitting in my den. and my den has a fireplace, and my television is up over my mantle, and so I'm very comfortable in this room. This is probably my, as I said, probably about my favorite room outside of when I go up to my bedroom. But that's the way I like to feel. I like the feeling that I get from this room. But then when I go on and I break the word down, it also talks about it could be, these, I gave you some other words. It could be a place that I take delight in. It could be a place that I have no disturbance, none. Not, I'm just not disturbed in it. And it also allows me my downtime. I wrote dugout, okay, because I feel discomfort. Is that what it says? Decompass. Oh yes, to decompress. I finally couldn't see my glasses. I got on some other glasses this morning, so they're not very good. But yeah, we can decompress in our den, you know. And some people use their bedroom, other people may use their den. But the dugout says it's a large, naturally occurring captivity formed underground. Now, in New York, where I'm from, all of our dens were in the basement. Okay. And so that's why I was able to look at that and say, I don't know if Debbie, if your house was like that, but I remember, having houses where most of them had basements, or they had an area that people would frequent, and they didn't necessarily use the main, room, large room, which was the living room. And so, like once they moved on past the 80s, they moved into great rooms, and some people didn't form dens anymore. The great room became the room where everyone frequented. Um, Digs, yes, 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 yes. Digs, that's right. But the dugout says it could have been like a bunker, it could have been like a cellar. Um, it says, or it could have been a shelter, a cove, or digs, which is what you wrote, Deb. Or it could be a recess pocket, just a place for us to go on down and stay down there and be fine. Um, I know at one point in time they were also used as where they were almost like prepared for in case of disaster. They were more sheltered from what was on top of the land than not. But most people in the South do not know about, a bunker or the dugouts and those kinds of things. If they have that, it's probably just what they call like a sunken family room, or sunken where it might be one or two steps down. Mine, ironically enough, is you come in on this level, but then you go two steps up in order to get into the kitchen or go around into my living room. So it just basically tells you which, that it's down already. And I think the person who built the house was a contractor, so they built in their own little weirdness. And everybody that comes to my house says, I've never seen anything like. It's kind of like it's considered to be a multi-level home. So there's places all over through the house that there's a down and an up, you know. So lots and lots of work for you to get through. When I move on in my word den, I have some other side words of enjoyment, because that's what I love to do. I love to come into my house and sit down and maybe, chill out for a minute and just enjoy the quietness. Or if I have TV or music on, I enjoy that in my room. Or I want to be entertained. It may be something on TV that I want to watch, or it might be that I have friends over and we're playing charades, or we're playing bidwiz or bingo, something, card games like spades. And also I have elegance and I have to exhilarate. That's what I wrote on the side. But what I wrote on my paper is it gives me some earthiness. The fact that I feel like it gives me my understanding of what it is to be comfortable in my surroundings. The earth, this is the planet that we live in, where life is what we know and how it exists. I'm comfortable in this room. It says it's the land that, when I purchased it, I knew what was actually going to be important to me about the land that the house is on. The land holds it, but the house contains me when I come in and allows me to live without being, without shelter, without, a resource to feeling comfort. So it talks about it being the ground, the floor, the terracotta, the terra firma. You know, the, I'm settled in. I'm okay. Let's see what you guys wrote. Entertainment. Yes, entertainment would be good. It talks about it being the surface and the deck, the ground that we're on. No matter where we're at, we gravity has us where we're planted correctly in terms of how we have the ability to walk and all of that. But once, if we ever moved from without outside the earth, we would have no ability to hold on to anything because our bodies would be buoyant, and we would be blasting off wherever. So I like the fact that when I walk in my house, I can sit down and I can, do whatever I want in my room and I'm okay. But that's me. I'm comfortable in the grounds that I'm on. Enjoyment, entertainment, and enjoyment. Yes, those are all good. And those are also what I have. I have enjoyment, and then I have elegance. The fact that I feel elegant once my fireplace is on, you can't tell me anything. I love my fireplace. I love my fireplace to be on. It's not quite cool enough, but it's getting there. It's getting there. I don't have on any heat yet. I know they trying to force me to do it, trying to force a girl to do it, but I can't do it yet. But I know that people are really cold natured. They probably already have heat on. Anyway, then we move on. My last letter, and this was a short letter today, because I want us to realize that this is the time that you get together with family and friends all through these next, 8 weeks. It's not even 8 now, it's 7. There's a lot of planning that may be done, and your home is where people might be coming into, or you might be going to someone else's home, but for sure you're going to be dealing with them. And for my N, I have on the side where I can get a nap. How many of you take a nap in your family room? Sometimes if I'm tired enough, I do. Get in one of my recliner chairs. That's it. I just take a nap. A nest. Okay, guess what? That's the word I have. Debbie always has my word. Always. She always has my back. I have it where it's a place where I have no worry. When I come in here, I try not to have a lot of worry. I want to just chill out. I chill, come in the front door, lock it, put my alarm on. I'm good. I'm good. Incidentally, like somebody tried to, I guess, go for my neighbor's house, and they had packages on their porch. And it was done in such a way that people, they stake your house out. I mean, I really do believe it. So I'm constantly, making sure that my alarm is on, and that I periodically, this is bad, periodically it sets off. And when it sets off, not only is it loud to the neighborhood, it is so loud in the house and around the house that attention is gotten immediately. And my neighbors are certainly wonderful, because they'll always say, is everything all right? But then I also have the security on the other side, and they will call and say, we have an alarm that was set off. Did you set it off? If I don't answer, or I don't answer in a timely manner, they are here. They send the police. So I'm good. I mean, so I say my N, even though I didn't put it down there, is no worry. No worry. I don't want to worry when I'm in my house. I want to be feeling, secure, comfortable, in a way that just says that I'm going to be all right today. I don't know once I go out, because there's so much going on in the world where people are not right, but I try to keep it right up in here. But I put down nest for my N, and nest is a person snug or secluded retreat. So when I come in my house isn't like Grand Central Station. My mother always used to tell us, do not have people walking through your house constantly, because she always said that they cased it out. That's a typical New York attitude. They come in, they case it out, see what's here, what's there, how they need. And that used to frighten me. So even when I lived in New York, there were certain things that I did. I had several locks on the door. They didn't have the kind of good morning, Maurice. They didn't have the kind of security that they have now. They did not. They did not. Um, they were all locks. So sometimes even getting into the house might be dangerous, only because you had to open up so many locks, and then when you got inside, you had to relock so many locks. So I remember at one time, and I had some friends that lived right in the city, and they lived in Spanish Harlem, and they used to kill me because I thought I had it when I had two deadbolts and a key, and but you had to do the key, and then you had to do the deadbolt separately, and they had like five, and I'm thinking, and then they had a bar. Y'all remember the bar? Anybody remember the bar in the house that was right behind the door? They did that. That was in cities, in the northern cities. They use those kind of things to deter people from getting into their homes. But I said nest because I think it's a person's snug area where they're secluded and it's not open to everyone that comes. I will, and I have the ring so I can see who comes to my door. I generally sometimes will not even answer. I see them, but I don't answer anything. Especially if it looks like it's somebody selling something, like roofing is very big right now. That's very big. Endeavor. Oh, that's good for my E. Yes. I think endure, endeavor, all those kinds of things. Um, Oh, Nook. Oh, I like Nook. Nook is that snuggie. That's a snuggie kind of thing. Um, a nest is a person's snug or secluded retreat. It says it's a hideaway. It's your refuge. How many of you think that your homes are your refuge? When you close the door, you can close off all the craziness that went on through the day, at your job, on the road. I saw a man yesterday. He jumped in front of me. He never put on any signals. Then he jumped in front of the person at the right. Then he went back over to the left, and he's just, weaving in and out of the cars. And all I kept saying is that, yeah, now where are they to ticket him? Now, if I was doing that, I felt that I would have been ticketed. But he made it all the way where he was, I presume, out of my sight. Okay, where he was doing quite well, navigating traffic and really putting other people in a need to put on their brakes suddenly, because he didn't signal at all. So anyway, when I can get beyond that and get into my house and close my door, I'm okay. I'm okay. I can be one with me, one with God. I'm okay. But it says that the nest is your hideaway, your refuge, your retreat, your area of basic shelter, your snuggery, a nest. It says your nook. Here you go. Your sanctuary, lavender. My house hugs me when I come home. Okay. I feel the same way. I'm glad to get home. Sometimes I'm so happy to get in the house. And ironically enough, sometimes there's certain things I can't do unless I get back to the house. you know, Sometimes I don't want to drink anything. I don't want to eat anything until I get back to my house. And then I'm comfortable where I can eat at my own pace, because I know I'm not the best person to eat with, because I only want a little bit of stuff, not a lot of stuff. And I presume as the older I get, the worse I will get. But oh, good morning, Erica. How are you? It says favorite room is the den as well. It's my fend, my shut, my balance room. Me too. Me too. My shutdown. That's me too. So sometimes I can come into my house and I just have a sigh of relief. It's like I made it. I don't know about you all, but the weekend was so busy. where there was traffic everywhere. And I wanted to go to the arts festival. There's a sister downtown, Sharon Cope, who has this thing called Scope, which is S in her last name, COPE. And she has wonderful designs. And I try to, patronize just a little bit of her business every single year. So I try to get there. And oh my goodness, to get there, I think I parked maybe a mile and a half from the actual venue itself, and the park to the park. And oh my goodness, when I got there, the lines were long, even for lemonade or something to eat, and then you could hardly get a place to sit down. So yeah, I enjoyed it, yes, but it took me a while. So when I got back to my house, the quiet came, the peace came, the snuggly came. I was like, okay. I, got myself ready for church the next day, but I didn't go back there. And they said, oh, well, the Greek festival's going on too. And I wanted to go. I love the Greek festival, but I didn't go. I had enough from the arts festival. But sometimes you just want the shelter of quiet, the shelter of your own place, the nest, the peaceful area of your house. Let's see, anybody else. But anyway, then it also says that the nest is your haven, your safe place. How many of you feel safe in your houses? I know for me, I definitely do. It says, prayer requests, please continue praying for my orphanage here in Kenya. We really passed through many challenges, to lack of food, to shelter, and governance. 35 orphans, children. I do care for here in Kenya. Well, thank you so much, John, for writing that. Hello and good morning, watching from Kenya. Well, thank you, John. We'll certainly put out your message you put out there, so certainly people can contact you if they want to. Certainly provide some form of assistance. But my den is my important spot, and I do it as often as I can, although I do work a lot. I'm gone a lot, so when I am actually at my house, the peace and the comfort of my home is certainly important. But anyway, I'm hoping that you all will have a wonderful day. I'm looking forward to a little business that I have to get done. But other than that, I am just going to be moving on to setting up a garage sale. So that's my next thing. And I'm looking forward to doing that next, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. But there is so much to do. And this is that time of year that there's a lot of things to be done. This is, we used to work with a guy from Kenya. Oh, wow. Wow. Wonderful, Deb. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, listen, I want you all to have a great day. Be safe out there. Do your best at marking your time when you go out and come in. I just think that this is also the time when people do a good deal of swindling and looking for assistance. So be careful. Be careful in the way that you approach life. But this grand to hear, I think he used to work for Judy. Oh yeah, Judy. Our Judy. Yeah. Wow. But anyway, you all have a wonderful day. I'm going to see you on Wednesday with another word, and we're going to get through these next 8 weeks together into getting into January, and it should be a prayerfully a fine time for us. Okay, be safe. Love you very much. If you don't do anything else, hit the share button and let it go out to others that are in need of just hearing somebody that puts it out. I have no money, and I don't charge you any money. Just come on in. All right. I thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.